Hey everyone, welcome to another video, The Nameless Thing. So today we're taking a look at a special book. This is Stanley's Chakra The Invincible, which is not just any regular issue of Chakra The Invincible. This is the 100th birthday anniversary celebration book that was released by Graphic India to honor Stanley's anniversary. So guys, for those of you who don't know, Chakra is one of the last few independent characters that Stanley created. So this is not a character that is related to the Marvel universe. This character was co-created as a collaboration between Stanley's POW Entertainment and Graphic India Comics. So guys, to know the origin of how this character came to be, this all started back in around 2004 when in India we had Gotham Comics, and at that time Sharat Devarajan, who was one of the co-founders of Gotham Comics, collaborated with Stanley and Marvel and came up with Spider-Man India, aka Pavitra Prabhakar, who is one of my most favorite Spider-Man variants, guys. They met again in 2009 and decided to collaborate again, but now with Graphic India Comics, because by this time Gotham Comics India had then transformed into Virgin Comics and then Liquid Comics and now permanently into Graphic Comics India. So when they did meet in 2009, they decided to come up with a new independent Indian superhero who would have powers that is deeply rooted with the Indian culture. And after brainstorming for a couple of years, they finally released Chakra the Invincible in 2013 during the free comic book day, guys. Now guys, when it comes to Chakra, he is one of the most powerful characters I think that Stanley has ever created, because if you take a look at his powers, he is literally, as his title says, invincible, guys. After harnessing all the 7 chakras in his bodies, he can use the solar chakra to shoot blasts of high radiation and power. He can fly, he can generate telekinetic shields, he can travel to the past and to the future, and he can also have visions that will tell him what happens, kind of like a very advanced spider sense, guys. Moreover, if he uses his heart chakra, he can also heal injuries, guys. Now, when it comes to chakra, his main source of power is from the 7 chakras in the body, but it is his suit, which is made completely of nanobots or nanites that integrate into his bloodstream and his DNA, activating all these 7 chakras. One of the main weaknesses for Chakra would be if he would have to encounter a villain who is so super smart that they would be able to extract all the nanites out of his body, making him completely weak and vulnerable, or if he should ever lose control over his emotions and therefore have an imbalance in controlling all the 7 chakras in his body. So now that we have taken a brief look into the creation of Chakra and the powers of Chakra, let's take a look into this particular comic and what it reveals. So here I have the comic out of the bag and the board. So guys, this particular comic came out in 2022, just 3 years after Stanley passed away. And I really wish that I had the chance to meet him once in person before he passed away, because Stanley was no doubt a visionary who has given so many dreams and aspirations to children all around the world. And that is a man who has literally gave birth to an entire industry, man. So opening up, we get a good look at Chakra with this amazing artwork that still holds up, and you can see him fighting crime and saving people and creatures as well. And you have this amazing shot of Chakra standing all across Mumbai. Guys, in 2013, when the first issue of Chakra came out, Raju or Chakra was just a small boy. In this, as you can clearly see, he's grown up a bit. He's about the age when Peter Parker became Spider-Man. So he was a lot younger when he became a superhero, actually. As you can see here, this is a story by Stan Lee. This is written by Ashwin Pandey and Jeevan Kang, and the artwork is also by Jeevan Kang, who has done some legendary awesome artwork, and he's the artist who also gave the vision for Spider-Man India. So we get this beautiful shot of Chakra flying across Mumbai over the night as he travels back to his home, where he reminisces about his brother. So by the way guys, if you want to know the complete origin story of Chakra, there is about 8 issues that came out in 2013 that gave the full detailed story of how Raju became Chakra, and I would definitely recommend that you guys give that whole series a read, because it is really a good story, guys. And that story starts pretty similar to what is going on around here. You can see actually Stanley in this comic book getting harassed by goons, and then Raju shows up here as Chakra to help save Stanley from the goons. But yeah, and this is the shot of where in the first original comic in 2013, Raju saves Stanley from one of the same goons as he was getting harassed. Only that time he didn't have his powers yet. He and his brother Samir were well, for lack of better words, having a lot of financial trouble. And so at that time, he was working for a scientist who developed this nano suit that he is wearing. So when the scientist was being harassed by loan sharks, he tells Raju to take the suit and run away, as it could be very dangerous if the suit ends up in wrong hands. A series of events happens where he puts on the suit and then discovers his powers. But then what happens is he just gets caught up with the wind of the power and seeing how powerful the suit is, but he's not yet completely balanced in controlling all the chakras. And when the time got really serious, he was not able to use his heart chakra, and therefore he could not save his brother when he was very grievously injured, who died trying to save Raju. And it was after that, very pretty similar to Amazing Spider-Man, that he learned that there is a lot of responsibility with these powers that he also now wields. And so he's revealing the same story to Stanley as they sit on the rooftop and telling about how he regrets not being coming in time to save his brother, and how he can do so much with this suit, but he didn't use it and save the one person that really mattered to him when the time came. So Stanley tries comforting him and telling him that he's had his own share of experiences with costume people who have a lot of incredible powers, and they have a lot of guilt, but at the end of the day they decided to use their powers to help other people, and how that makes them a true hero. Stanley tells Raju that his brother Samir would be proud of him because he's doing what Samir always used to tell to him, that you have to try to do something. After having such a comforting talk, Raju thanks Stanley for giving him this talk and really thanks him for everything that he has done, which is kind of like this meta thanks that Graphic India and fans all across the world have said to Stanley, as you can see him here flying away thanking Stanley for everything that he has done. It's a nice feel warm story, guys, and the origin story of Chakra is not all that different from the origin story of the many other popular superheroes that we've seen at Marvel. But if done right, the same story can hit very, very effectively well, guys, because the power of responsibility, the guilt of not making the right choices at the right time, is something that will always resonate with everyone. The guys, Chakra has had about 2 or 3 animated movies, and also he has a few couple more issues where he's interacted with other Indian superheroes as well, guys. And I would definitely recommend that you check that out and give it a read as well. And as you can see here, this is a photo of Sharad Devranjan with Stan Lee, guys. So that was just a quick look at the contents inside this book, guys. Now, like I said, there's about, I think, 16 issues totally of Chakra the Invincible that is split into 2 different volumes, guys. The first volume being the origin story, and the second volume being a few other tales where he meets a few other characters, guys. I would definitely recommend that you check out both these volumes and read, because they are a fun read, guys. I definitely do wish that Graphic India Comics would recontinue this series, guys, because I know there are talks about a live action movie of Chakra being made, but I think even as a comic series, there's a lot of potential for this character and his growth, guys. I mean, can you imagine if Chakra had about 100 or 150 issues? We could have a big story arc and a character arc where perhaps Chakra faces across a villain who's so scientifically brilliant that he extracts all the nanites out of his body. But after all the series of events that happens, Chakra is now able, or Chakra or Raju is able to control all the 7 chakras in his body just with his own mental power and will, and in effect becoming so much more stronger than he ever was with a suit, guys. Because that growth and that arc would be insane to read over 100 or 150 issues. And with Chakra's abilities being so strong and so invincible, he is literally like the OP that can almost never be defeated. Kind of like Captain Marvel or Sentry or like Superman. Graphic India Comics right now is only focused on giving animated content, and while I do like the animated content that they put out, I really, really do sincerely wish that they get back to printing comic books regularly. And it is understandable why they discontinued this, because the sales are not that convincing in India, because the readers market in India is not good as it was in US. But I think off late, if you have observed, there are a lot of independent comic studios in India that are bringing out their content annually, and I think Graphic India Comics should do the same. And I really do hope that Chakra does get his own series continued pretty soon, guys. Let me know your thoughts about this character and this series in the comments below, and I will catch you guys next time.